Hi, this is Billie Beene here with another segment of Truth by Billie Beene. Special report, today's date, October 19, 2022, new. This is my third YouTube channel. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share. Episode 442, World War III. Russia preps for war and secret U.S. war plans. And some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot Subscriber, Canadian Prepper, Newsweek, Daily Mail, Reuters, Steve Quayle, Hal Turner, Plus. And we'll be covering new martial law inside the new parts of Russia and some established parts of Russia. And Russia taking down NATO's SATCOM center inside Ukraine. Russia recalls diplomats globally, a prelude to war. And also the martial law is a prelude to war. Kherson, the Ukraine tried to blow up a dam and flood Kherson. That's being evacuated. Oh, and movements that indicate secret U.S. war plans are going on. But hey, we're not going to tell. We the people. No. So let's get started. Okay, recently we had a information coming out that yesterday that Russia was declaring martial law. A prelude to building up to war is you recall your diplomats globally, you're closing your embassies, you're establishing martial law inside your nation. You're also doing things with your gasoline supply. Now, Mike from around the world is regularly on Pastor Paul Bagley's Thursday night show. We believe Mike works for the NSA and Mike knows stuff. Said a month ago that movements that were taking place inside the United States with regard to the supply of our certain types of energy and gasoline was also what you do when you're prepping for war. But hey, let's not tell the American people. Okay. So now yesterday on October 18, 2022, President Putin drew up a decree of martial law that has to go to the two parts of the Russian government for approval today. That's the Federation Council and the Duma. And it's going to take effect October 19 today at midnight. So now the martial law is for, here's Russia. And it affects established parts of Russia also, in addition to the newly annexed parts of Ukraine, which is Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson, Zaporizhzhia. Now, the established parts of Russia that it's going to affect are, I've got a map for us, are Krasnodar, Belgorod, Bryansk, and Bryansk. We heard recently there were some Ukraine terrorists that were going to attack something in that a few days ago. Bryansk, Kursk, and Rostov. So I'm going to draw you a map. So we have this Bryansk. We have Belgorod, we have Kharkiv and Sumy in these areas. We have Kursk, we have Veronezh, we have Rostov. Down here would be Crimea. And we have Krasnodar. Okay, now the martial law that's going into effect tonight at midnight affects these newly acquired areas of Russia that were formerly a part of Ukraine. Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson, Zaporizhzhia, and these established parts of Russia. Bryansk, Belgorod, Kursk, Voronezh, Rostov, and Krasnodar. So, that's going on. Now, we have this. Yeah, we have inside, just in the last day or so, Russia has taken down, here's Odessa, and there was a small area near it called Palie Vki. Okay, so Russia on October 18, and this is also another prep for war. You take out all the energy and water and internet and comm systems of your enemy, setting up your battlefield. Okay, so they took out NATO's. Oh, you didn't know NATO was inside Ukraine? Yeah. They've had this big established satellite comm center. And from that, they were getting from the U.S. and other NATO satellites information in here. Then they could give to the government and to the Ukraine military and, of course, the NATO and U.S. military that are also inside Ukraine now, we've found out recently. So, yeah, so now there's no real-time intel for the military planners because Russia took that out yesterday. Okay, now we have this. We have that Ukraine, and we've heard recently Zaporizhzhia, Luhansk, Donetsk, and I know redrawing a map is tough, isn't it? So this is really part of Russia. Kind of comes over this way, and Crimea. All right. Now we heard that. This is coming out from Hal Turner, that Ukraine took out, Russia took out 6 HIMARS, and we know the HIMARS are only fired by the U.S. military because the U.S. military will not give the software codes to Ukraine or other nations. So the U.S. military was firing 6 HIMARS yesterday on a dam. And that was to flood Kherson, and that's one of the reasons that 60,000 people are being evac'd, because Russia knew about the plan. Russia took out all of the 6 HIMARS. And then Ukraine had a second incursion right here, trying to take over the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant yesterday. They had 30 boats. And Russia took out, they killed actually 80% of the forces that were involved in the battle. It's unknown how many were Ukraine, how many were NATO and US. Okay, now we have this. We have from Newsweek, the martial law. So that's going to be taken over. Yeah, we've got that. We've got Daily Mail, General Surovikin. He's now in charge of the Russian theater inside Ukraine and the parts of Ukraine that are not yet part of Russia. All right, so they evacuated 60,000 from Kherson. They're doing the martial law. Yeah, so that's going on. Now we have this from Hal Turner, and from the Foreign Minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, that diplomats are being recalled globally. They're closing all embassies in the West. That would be Europe. That would be in the United States. And Canadian Prepper had brought out that they were also closing them in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. Okay. And Canadian Prepper is saying a nuke event next week. I don't know the source of his information. And the government is going to a wartime, it will be going, he's talking about Canada and the U.S. moving to a wartime status, take care of your resources. He's talking about a possible draft of individuals into the military. People of the United States will never tolerate that. I don't know about Canada. And that essential workers will be returning to the U.S., and we saw that move by the JB actor Puppet to have all people working in the chip factory that was in China and Taiwan, I believe, to resign and return to the United States. So we saw that. All right. And now we have Duran, that's Alex Christoforo and Alexander Makuras, talking about, Russians believe that Ukraine may cease to exist as a nation state in the future. From Judy Byington, Russia moves nukes 11 miles from NATO borders. I brought that out in my last video about the Russian nukes being inside Belarus. And then Judy is bringing this out. Yeah, we recall, and I put out videos about the nuke alerts inside New York, New Jersey, Colorado. Yeah. And we have this, and I also put out a previous video with information from Dr. William Mount about the command and control locations inside the United States that might be possible targets for if Russia retaliates against the United States. If the United States does this, then Russia will return a similar act. In other words, if the U.S. goes inside Russia and bombs command control, then Russia will do the same to the U.S. And I put that out in a previous video. Now we have this. Is the Pentagon and the U.S. government involved in secret plans for war? Well, yesterday on October 18, we had the Secretary of Defense of England fly to the U.S. To meet with the Pentagon and other individuals in the U.S. government. Why would he fly? So there was no digital communication. He could go into what's called a SCIF, supposedly a secure area. So, and we got that going on, but at least we're bringing forth truth. And now we, the sons and daughters of God, know what to pray about and against. And it's good to remember that God is in charge. He's on the move. He sent his seraphim angels down here with us. And on a more practical basis, too, it's probably good to stock up on food and water and security items. I love you, and I'll see you soon. Also, pet